Hey everybody, clearing. Got the Mondo, thick crystal out clearing. So I guess we've moved through some really big stuff. But today we're going to get into what is going on in the connections right now. This is going to be, no matter if you're masculine or feminine, this is going to be a reading that covers it all. I'm going to look at the connections, what's healing in the connections right now, what we can each think of potentially coming up next, and what each would say to each other. And then I'm going to do like my usual chakra spine of fire, but I'm not going to talk chakra lingo. I'm just going to use the backstory that I know about each of the chakras to put it more into basic terms, the different levels of focus that we might have up for consideration as the connections continue to come more into alignment. So let's start. Having said all that, I do have a few sessions left in September so far that I've released, so go check that out. And yeah, okay, well, let's see. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we know about the connections at this time? Masculines on the left, feminines on the right, connection space in the middle. Aw. Okay. Oh, sweet. Okay, so right now both are surrendering to this connection. The Daughter of Cups is all about accepting the love, you know, the sweetness. It's kind of the rosy sunglasses, or not necessarily too good to be true. This is just really lovely, idyllic kind of energy. Both are looking at each other like they're in love. So cute. And then going into the future, we have the World. So this means I'm very much getting that these connections are going to show each of the counterparts that you would not need to go elsewhere for anything. The World is the full picture, the complete package. And so going into the future, we're seeing that we actually don't need anything outside of the other. That's interesting. I'm going to clarify all of these. Masculines have the Sun in the inverse. This means that there's something that the masculines don't quite know right now, something that is possibly making them feel, it could be unsettled for some, but there might be a little bit of naive energy here. I'm not getting that it's in a bad way with the feminines, because divine feminines aren't going to do anything awful, but the masculines don't know something here. I'm going to clarify that. And then the feminines here, okay, gone but not gone. We've got the 4 and 8 of Cups. This for me is always where we look at an equation where each is bringing half to the table, and the 10 of Pentacles, long-term success here. So feminines are aware of the big picture, aware that things maybe haven't gotten off the ground in the past, aware of other karmic situations where things haven't gotten off the ground. This is like real world legacy, generational wealth. It looks like the feminines are having a review right now on all the ways of the world and how those haven't panned out, especially where it comes to emotions being involved. And so it's almost like the feminines are taking their feelings out of things and wanting to look at things in more practical terms. They're gone but not gone. They don't want to blow the wheels off this thing into the future. So there is I'm hearing a masterful balance coming in where they know that it takes two. Feminines have this overview. Masculines, you might be getting a sense that your feminine is not behaving in certain ways that you might typically assign to feminines, like being over emotional. This is like emotional balance, maybe giving mixed signals. In a karmic way, your feminine wouldn't be chasing in this energy. They're kind of thinking outside the box with some kind of real world consideration. But this does not say that they're walking away. This means they're there emotionally. They still love you, masculines, but they're maybe not, you know, throwing themselves at you at this point. Okay, let's see what's healing for each. So masculines, what's being healed in this sun energy? Knight of Wands. Oh, this is super sweet because this is my player card. In the inverse like this, I always read this as though it's going towards true monogamy, deeper connection, not just lust, real love starting to grow. So masculines may or may not be aware that right now, this sort of emotional balance that the feminines are bringing in and the sweetness that's coming in between the two masculines, you may or may not be aware that this is deepening your trust, deepening your connection past a player energy into more long-term love. So that's one aspect here, but it's also, you haven't seen the benefit yet. There's like this full reassurance with the sun coming in. It's like in time, you're going to see how sort of taking it slow, good things being worth the wait. Wink, wink, nod, nod. You don't have to rush in and be hot and cold, on again, off again. This is more consistency coming in at very least. So you may not know which way it will go, masculines, but this is saying things are deepening. Okay, what can we see? What's healing in the feminines right now? Page of Cups in the inverse and Nine of Swords. So feminines, you're surrendering past the fear. Justified. So this can be sleepless nights, staying, you know, up late, pondering things, slaying the dragons. We got this. I'm taking a deep breath because I'm in this right now too. This is the rosy sunglasses, like I said, but the same card here in the inverse, this is you getting really clear on your own here, feminines, like never before, that whatever is best for you is best for the union going forward. So in some regard, there's a caution here. And that is, don't be naive. Don't make choices based on wishful thinking going forward. If you've got some kind of anxiety about something, the choice might not be for you. Don't project whether or not there's certainty or uncertainty from your counterpart side of it. It's never wise, even in the matter of love, to throw caution to the wind and be naive about things. So this is saying, really drop into your heart and make sure you're making all of your decisions from your own best vantage point, not deferring to your masculine, even though it looks like things are really positive here. If you've got any anxiety, make sure you always look out for number one. That's not selfish, feminines. That's actually a solid foundation. You can't carry anyone else's karma. And so once you do that, that is codependency. So this is about getting it straight. You don't need information from your masculine about what the future may hold. If something is in your highest and best interest, do that. If it's not, don't do that. Don't defer to your counterpart. And so, yes, this is a beautiful opportunity where you've got some staying power. You don't have to bring your emotions into it right now, feminines. You can actually have safety right now, which is always available to you. But in the matters of love, you may not have ever taken that opportunity to slow down and make your own choices. Here, the cards are saying that's what this cycle is for. That's what this phase of the connections is for, is so you can remove your emotions and make choices that are healthy, happy, whole for you, feminines, without deferring to what your masculine would or would not be doing. Okay, really beautiful stuff. Let's see next what we need to know about this World card going into the future. Nope, Daughter of Cups. So for the masculines, what is this? Two of Swords. So there's some sort of a way forward, specifically with the feminine here, that is, you know, finding its way through the cracks. There's some sort of a forward motion that the masculines are surrendering to. It's actually quite delighting them, I'm hearing, because they're getting to know you, divine feminines, on a way that they haven't seen anybody before. There is this very sweet kind of beckoning in their soul to stick with something right now and see where it goes. They are, here's this card, I've read it before, where the heart is crossed, the truths aren't at odds, but there's still a guarding of the heart, or, you know, this kind of protection. So the masculines know that the feminines are a little bit guarded, but that they are on the same page in some regard. So this is a beautiful thing. I would guess that the masculines are also taking it easy on the feminines in some way, being gentle and not pushing certain things. Instead, being aware that the feminines have been through a thing or two and the masculines are just being gentle. Oh, that's really sweet. So feminines, Daughter of Cups, we're getting the Emperor. So we had that the other day too, where there is this putting down of the control issues for the feminines and the masculines. Divine feminines, you might start to see that your masculine is putting down, controlling this connection, the timing of it, the communication, the aloofness. There might be more communication, more open communication, more free-flowing communication, because the emperors are dropping some of the rigidity and being compassionate, that you have a sweetheart, I just heard, feminines. And so for many, the masculines are softening their approach. Oh, that's beautiful. So divine masculines, your feminines are noticing that you are softening up a little bit and not so fearful, not so guarded anymore, and also not so rigid with what you might assess here or the ways you might navigate. Okay, so the world, what can we see for the masculines? Ooh, Four of Coins and Queen of Coins. So this is all material realm stuff. It came out in the neutral. This is wifey card. This is foundation. And so there is sort of this full picture. I know I said in the beginning that the world card here symbolized everything in one person. You know, that's the remedy for polyamory, is that you find somebody that actually does check off all the boxes. These connections are the ones cracking the code that actually makes that possible. So I'm not saying poly is going to resonate with everyone, but the masculines are starting to see that there is enough of a workable foundation and enough attraction, enough benefit to these connections, that the feminines, I heard the jury's still out, but that the feminines are actually that dream partner, not too good to be true, that has it all. The masculines are staying the course with whatever's happening right now. They're contemplating this. They might be just coming to it. With the Sun card in the inverse, it might be dawning on them that you actually do check off all of their boxes, feminines. So yeah, they are trying to stay very balanced, but they are realizing that there is something here that is very, very rare. I'm also being drawn to the vulture in this card and the feminine in this scarcity. She's kind of emotional looking there. Maybe the masculines haven't realized that there has been sort of rags to riches here. How self-made the feminine is. This is lack, this is abundance. So they might also be seeing this opportunity to go from rags to riches in some way, or that maybe because the feminines have always come across as empowered, strong, whole, that maybe they haven't seen these two sides, the developmental curve. There's something that they've seen. You know, feminines, you're not just in that diva energy, and you're not just in this downtrodden. You are everything. I'm hearing I'm every woman. You know, there's this full understanding of the spectrum of what it's like, and it's a very practical, wholesome kind of knowing for the masculines. They're really coming to the understanding that your frequency is abundant, feminines. It's not necessarily that you are affluent, though you may be. They're seeing that your energy is what is abundant, not necessarily worldly situations, or if they're just seeing that you're somebody that could go through the good times and bad, and the abundance and the lower times, or they've seen you go through that. It's all about the finances here though, because we do have, and the energy that runs through the conduit of the finances, the money story, because it's all pentacles. So masculines are really seeing you as somebody right now that has such a broad spectrum of engagement in the world with your attitude, feminines. They're going to understand that more and more, that you are a miracle worker. I just heard. What can we see for the feminines with the World card? Okay. Queen of Cups. Yeah, so divine feminines, there's this psychic, intuitive, unconditionally loving Queen of Cups energy here, that going forward, you're going to have an opportunity to really look at the depths that are available here and to draw on your psychic, intuitive powers. Okay, I'm going to start with a little bit of a message from the feminines in that note going forward. Queen of Cups, what would the feminines like to express to the masculines regarding the world and Queen of Cups energy? Oh, okay. I sometimes wonder if you care, and you are so beautiful. Why do you need me? So feminines basically still, look at the color similarity there. I sometimes wonder if you care. So feminines, you know, you're aloof. I've seen that in the cards here. Masculines or feminines might be a little bit aloof, but you know, you're a little bit of aloof too, masculines. And so your feminine has had to use their intuitive powers to discern that you care, but they do kind of wonder the way that you hold back, even though they've probably blown your mind with the times when they've been able to read you caring when you thought you were trying so hard to not show that side. It doesn't hurt though to, you know, you're tiptoeing at this phase, I can see, with, you know, dropping the Emperor rigidity and finding those ways to respect that the feminine's heart might be tender, you know, the sweetness here, but in some ways don't go easy on them. You know, if you want this, masculines, show your feminine you care. Say it in no uncertain terms. I just heard, I'm afraid to say I love you. Well, maybe you don't have to do that, but you can say that, you know, how much you care. Just, there is a little bit of a opportunity here. The feminines don't always have to just fully go on intuition to know that you care that much. And you are so beautiful. Why do you need me? So your feminines, when they don't feel like you care, or when they question that, they may think that you are just so beautiful you could take or leave them. And in one sense, that's healthy. But in another sense, it breeds some insecurity. It prolongs a bit of a distance, so they can feel that you're not completely all in, masculines, and that, you know, they know that you're a catch. They know. And so they're trying to balance this out. It's interesting because we wouldn't be getting these kinds of energies if things weren't deepening. This is the sort of thing that comes to the surface so that we can talk about it only when things are coming in for a landing. That's when these trail markers are actually passed. And so we're seeing some trail markers right now where the feminines are becoming very transparent with, you know, just saying, yes, there's been a lot of intuition here, but we want to know from the masculines directly. Beautiful. What would the masculines say to the feminines with this Four of Coins and Queen of Coins with the World? Do tell, divine masculines, what is it? You are wrong and they are waiting for you. Both in the inverse. So it's very interesting because I'm getting two distinct energies here. I'm getting that you're not wrong anymore, feminines, or, you know, when you've gotten that mixed message that you might not be wrong. Like the masculines can tell that you're not waiting for them, that you also are so beautiful, maybe you don't need them. It's a perfect mirror, I would have to say here. So these cards kind of say the same things that the feminines were just saying. I just heard somebody's got to go all in and impress the other one. It's getting really, really down to the wire in this regard, because, you know, feminines aren't waiting for the masculines, and the masculines are definitely not playing that you're wrong for me game anymore, if some of them were, or sending mixed signals. So I'm also getting here that this world, this can be the final chapter of a cycle that never repeats again. So the cycle where the feminines don't fully know whether the masculines are into them in a forever kind of way, and where the masculines don't know if the feminines, you know, are going to stick around forever. Those cycles of insecurity are closing out, is what I'm getting here. And both are trying to find a way to express that they want to be done with that. That's pretty good. I would concur. That is a very nice cycle to close out, isn't it? So where we never have to doubt each other again. We're going to be starting that sort of a thing. Yes, Twin Collective, let's do that. Okay, let's get into that chakra reading now. So let's see on all of the levels. And again, I'm not necessarily going to talk about the chakras, but each card I'm going to talk about the theme that a chakra would represent. So thank you, Divine Creator. What can we know about the energies? What is it that we need to see at this time on all those levels? What is the energetic motion that's happening on all these 7 major themes of life? What is the advice for the collective based on what we need to see and what is rolling out at this time? Okay, so as far as higher guidance and connection to source, well, you know, strokes of genius, all of that. Okay, ending burden. So what we're being asked to do right now is put down the burden. Go to a higher power, lay down the burden and say, this isn't working for me. This hasn't worked in the past. I haven't felt comfortable when this has happened. I should have said no when I said yes. I should have, 22, should have said yes when I meant no. All of those things were meant to be going up and out of our mundane considerations and really looking at, instead of what have I seen modeled, what have I been told I should do, really sitting with decisions going forward, really looking at how difficult life has been and saying, is there a better way? In a perfect world, what would that look like? Like really going up and out. We're talking strokes of genius, spontaneous remission, like turn it on its head, radical genius here. So yes, we may not see examples in the world, but when we use crown chakra and go higher and say, there's got to be a better way, what would it be? That's the kind of thing that instantaneously ends burden. That's what we're being asked to focus on. What is the energetic aspect that is swirling because of that? Enthusiasm, learning, generosity, and fortune. So when we seek earnestly to put down the burden of the world, the status quo, the way most people do it, we actually uncork generosity and fortune. And we learn with enthusiasm because we're stoked, we're gung-ho to solve some problems and actually get ahead in the world. I just heard. What's the advice? Strength supports our ability to harmonize all our qualities and skills towards a strong and balanced way of being. Exactly, not a weak and burdened way of being, but one that provides us with enthusiasm, exhilaration, learning, generosity, and fortune. When we are strong in character and wise in mind, we can put down burden and really get to the fun stuff. Beautiful. Okay, what can we see for intuition at this time? the Emperor. So sitting pretty. Okay, so we are being asked to look at the kind of framework that we could get behind that would actually work for us, to look deep within our subconscious, to look over our lives so far and really take an overview. Look at how this Emperor is surveying the land, everything that has come before, everything that is currently happening. There isn't this kind of observation that is I just heard an aloof detachment, just looking at the facts, looking at the cogs, and wanting to really make something beautiful out of it. The Emperor is holding the cross with the world. I'm also getting that I don't know if missionary work or projects around the world that are truly beneficial. This does not have to have a religious connotation. I'm thinking of things in the past. I've run campaigns for Women with Water. Sorry, I don't remember what it was called. It was a number of years ago now. But there are lots of things, housing and different charity things I'm getting from this around the world. It's like getting to that state of abundance and fortune where we can really give back, and there is a planet there. We also have the wings. So this is like wings to fly. This is absolutely beautiful because the Emperor is the king of all kings. And so there are some intuitive projects that could be coming up that absolutely take counterparts around the planet in service. So yeah, if you're getting some intuitive guidance right now that is far beyond what you normally would have conceived of, it's not in your head. There's a lot of fortune and generosity swirling in the higher dimensions in the crown chakra. So many of those wild card, innovative kind of ideas are going to be coming in. And the divine is saying, if we can handle our own enthusiasm, fortune, generosity on the home front, that accountability lends itself to things out in the world that really make a difference and give back. And it can be on a global scale, and it can be righteous, because we do have that allusion to, it's a glowing cross. So it's not just, the things that churches have misused power. It's the ascended stuff coming in, love in action on the planet. And that's interfaith. That doesn't mean a particular denomination or a religion. Okay. Energy, Arcturian Stargate, peace, healing, gentleness, non-judgment. So this is what's happening right now. The ego is being calmed. There is this greater good, and it's not martyr. It's not altruistic. It's peaceful. It's non-judgmental. So it's a win-win for the individuals and for those that benefit. There's a gentleness because healing's coming in. There's no agenda to push. It's more of a mature, empowered energy instead of a pushing it out into the world kind of feeling. There's an intuitive difference that's being discerned and embodied by the counterparts right now. Or taking root? Sensitivity helps us to open to the world of subtlety and detail while anchoring in a structural foundation, thus supporting us to become fully multidimensional. Right, so we're anchoring through our intuition right now. We're anchoring in a structural foundation. The Emperor is structure, reason, logic, stability. And we see this opening to the world energy here. We're getting similar archetypes coming in. So take it as it resonates, masters. For your situation, there is more of a as above, so below. Or, as in a personal foundation, so in a greater good kind of way, things can unfold. There's something really beautiful happening right now, and crown chakra, third eye are working together right now to bring in the end of burden on a personal level and a community level and a global level I'm seeing here. So we are starting to tune into the Jedi frequencies. That's really, really good, counterparts out there. Okay, what can we see for the throat chakra, communication? Three of Cups in the inverse. So first off, if there are third-party situations or other options, there's going to be communication about monogamy. Three of Cups into the Two of Cups in the inverse like this, there is a motion towards, you know, going exclusive, wanting, hearing promise rings again, engagement, really just speaking out the desire to not have third-party complication. We saw the non-monogamous, or sorry, the monogamous energy and the King of, or Knight of Wands, sorry. In the first part, there is a going all in together, just the two. I'm getting that. But there's also this desire to talk about the things that haven't felt free flow or that have stopped the emotional exchange, that hasn't been fluid. So there's a fluidity coming in between the two. Or if there are still things that are not balanced, there's going to be a focus on communicating in a way that does not dampen or inhibit the communication. I'm just getting that there is, like, the cork is being pulled out of communication and it's starting to be a little bit more of a free flow. And we're getting subconscious awareness, Akashic information. So we're remembering how to communicate because we're becoming more love-based. It's opening up the dimensions to ways of communicating that are beyond what we have had before. I'm just hearing the guides say, when two people go all in, there is so much more safety to communicate the depths and the wisdom, the reaches. What is the advice here on the throat chakra? Okay, duality. There's the yin yang in this card. Supports our ability to gracefully flow with the everlasting movement among all opposites. So the two, we're no longer in the three energy where there are a question of loyalties. We now have these divine templates where we have the masculine and feminine with the high heart connected in a purified template, this super template, that we can tackle duality, but that there is a complementary dynamic between the two counterparts that creates a new sort of a whole. When we unify on this fractal level, we unify the duality of the masculine and feminine, we harness it, then that duo can be in a new phase, a new sphere of duality as a unit into the world at large. And that's where we're getting this coming out into earthly good on this Jedi level, is because we're harmonizing the masculine and feminine and becoming a new dualistic pair. But as a unit, we make up one dualistic pair for community outreach, interaction, engagement, or projects and all of that. So it becomes a different sort of game. I just heard play, more play, when we don't have to worry about the two clicking into unity. So we're getting there. Beautiful. Yeah, because it's not serving two masters. There is a streamlining and a preference being acknowledged for the two. I'm hearing going all in again. So there's some communication about this and about the benefit of teaming up, bridging. Stunning, stunning. What can we see on the heart space? Two of Wands, more travel imagery here, more stepping out of comfort zone. This is more feelings of opening the heart from the personal level to a larger vantage point. So there's a masculine here and some ships. So there could be quite a call for expansion on a much bigger level. I'm being taken with the heart chakra green in the robes here and the empowerment So masculines may or may not be literally traveling, but there is an empowerment here coming in and healing on the heart space, specifically for the masculines or the masculine polarity within the feminines, that they are now considering they could branch out from family, previous jobs, previous community. It's as they're up leveling and healing the heart, there is more of a green light go out into the world. There's still this yellow caution I'm hearing that not all of the things have been seen yet, but there's a brewing energy, a readiness that's coming in for the masculines that's wanting to launch them into a broader experience of life. It's like the wind is calling. So this is really beautiful, feminines. You might begin to start seeing the masculines coming up with ideas to go beyond their hometown. I just heard. It's like the healing, that inner child healing has taken root, and their souls are starting to call them to a grander life. Whoa, energetically, emotional transparent. And if this is within you, feminines, you'll also be getting possibly the travel bug or projects, seeing how those things could be scaled, or, you know, wanting to reach a bigger audience. There's so many different ways that this could be brewing in your inner masculine, because we do have this, you know, transceiver. I think of these as the high heart of the counterpart, that is this alignment. And this is the twin flame card. So the Two of Wands, that's the flame suit. This can be the counterparts, you know, coming to some simultaneous awarenesses about what could happen out in the world. Emotional transparency, nurturance, and grace, Temple of the Moon Goddess. So this is what's moving in the energetic realms. There's going to be more and more emotional transparency. I'm just getting this nurturance and grace. This is also like the Queen of Pentacles card that we saw earlier, where the masculines were seeing the feminines as life partner material. And so it's going to become more and more evident that as each open up and brainstorm and talk, that there's going to be, and more emotional transparency here, that there's going to be more grace coming in. I'm hearing we'll be on the same page more so than we ever could have imagined. I just heard the divine make a joke, divine energies make a joke, saying, you didn't think I'd pair you up with your particular counterpart if it was going to be a bad match, did you? That's cute. Okay, authenticity. So with emotional transparency, we speak our deepest authentic truths. And so as those things come to air, come to light, it's going to be really, really beautiful for all involved. Authenticity supports our choice to be genuine and truthful in all aspects of our lives, with others as well as with ourselves. And so this is communication. This is heart-based, authentic communication, transparent communication, sharing, healing, sort of starting to talk about these ideas out into the world. Really empowered. And this is lovely because that's the heart chakra, and this magenta color is the high heart, but we have the gold in both. So there's like a golden bubble, golden glow around the hearts of the counterparts right now that's bringing in the safety to talk about expansion out into the world, or the beginnings, the seeds being planted for that. These emotional, transparent communications I'm feeling again that can be nurtured, and flow is starting to come into alignment. What can we see for the solar plexus? The Tower. So wow, yeah, I just heard this is the moment we see where we've been holding ourselves back. No places, people, or things have been doing it. It's only our own healing and changing the karmic patterns, healing enough to make different decisions and to understand what good decisions would be. This solar plexus empowerment is an inside job, I'm hearing. As we reclaim our own power, as we say, my life is up to me, my choices are up to me, and I don't have to play small. I don't have to stay put. I don't have to stay in the status quo. I can radically overnight set a different course. I can branch out. I can do what I've always wanted to do. I saw a quote this morning and it said something like, when I was a boy, my father wanted to be a comedian and he got an accounting job instead for more security. And 10 years later, when that accounting job didn't pan out, I learned a great lesson. It was, you might as well do what you love, because things that you think are secure might not. Anyways, I botched that. It was a Jim Carrey quote. And that's the kind of thing. It's like this radical understanding that we might as well do the things that we really truly want to do, because other things might bloop when we least expect it. We have no guarantees. And so let's go where the love actually is, and let's be of earthly good. Acceleration, stimulation, and excitation. So this unhooking from the material realm, which the tower can symbolize, it can be things in the material realm that come out of nowhere when we've passed the expiration date with people, places, things, jobs, whatever it may be. It can suddenly be a radical thing that happens to us. And so that is actually, you know, when we're butt dial manifesting, as Steve Love Tarot says, we inadvertently create towers in our lives when we have been reluctant to let go of things, and things speed up. When we are manifesting and just wanting our best life, sometimes it comes out of nowhere to speed it up, to get us the fastest possible track towards what we want. And it can look like an inner or outer tower if we're not conscious of the connect the dots that plays out in those times. We might be confused, but this does look like both counterparts are not confused, that they are seeing these radical things that would need to change overnight so that things could speed up real fast. So if there hasn't been movement, boy, is the movement click, click, click. It's justified now, I'm hearing. We get tenderness. Tenderness activates our capacity to open our hearts and approach the world and each other with gentleness and care. We got that, masculines, you beautiful masculines, starting to treat your feminines with more gentleness and care. And so we're learning how to do this. Feminines, you're also holding space for the authentic, emotionally transparent communication from your masculines. And we're both learning these ways to hold more space for each other that way. Yeah, so in the act of these inner towers and things moving out or moving forward more quickly now, we're seeing that there is this gentleness and care that's just evident in the process, is what I'm hearing too. And these inner towers in part are because the counterparts are showing a new level of gentleness and care that's allowing for the safety for things to move forward more quickly now. There's just more authentic transparency, and it's going to be making these things move more effortlessly, more beautifully forward. Oh, beautiful. Okay, sacral chakra. We are getting progress, 6 of Swords. So there is a healing of the feminine and masculine energy within. There is an inner child healing. This child between the mother and father here looks like about a 5 to 6 to 7-year-old child. That is the age of accountability. When we come out of theta brainwave state into, you know, pre-adolescence, we're now trying to detoxify what we were shown as children and live that out. We get our own karma. We make more and more of our own choices now consciously, and we get the backlash or not. We understand the consequences. We start learning that way. And so there's this healing. I'm getting that there's a healing that's happening in the twin collective that joins me here, that is rewriting those automatic, the predictive programming, the imprinting that we all learned as, you know, up to the age of accountability, that was the faulty operating systems and programming. We're empowering ourselves now with the healed sacral energies, with the healthy feminine and masculine, without this codependent thing. There's progress coming in. And then we get energetically cellular light, bioluminescence, self-illumination, and simplicity. Yeah, instead of trying to figure out how to heal our parents and, you know, our societies, we're coming back to 0 point and saying, what do I need? What would be healthy for me? What would be thriving? I'm seeing that 10 of Wands again with that burden. in the crown chakra, where we're being asked to go up higher, we're being asked to channel the life-affirming aliveness through ourselves, not through the generational faults or the generational faulty programming. We're being asked to reclaim and broadcast direct to source connection and light into the world. Advice for this? Discernment. Discernment supports our ability to view the world and the people around us from a place of balance and detachment, yet with compassion and wisdom. So yeah, being even detached from the hardships, the trauma, the, faulty things, being able to tell the difference, to, go back into those early childhood experiences and discern and differentiate between the traumas. I mean, it doesn't have to just be early childhood. I just saw that in the early imprinting in that way. It does this message lends itself beyond those years, but those are the most formative. But this is being able to discern between what wasn't working, or the impressions we got that weren't working, and the things in this now moment that might work better, that are more healthy, that are more simple, that are better, all involved. Okay, what can we see for the root chakra? Two of Pentacles. So this would say that we've got two balanced root chakras making more stable long-term decisions on the same page equally here. So this is really lovely. I'm getting these ships again. This is that broader travel. So there's a lot more motion. See this dinky little boat that's here, that's kind of banked at shore with all this playing it small and drama, and this child, like, how do I heal my parents, all of that kind of having to grow up, survival mentality. And then we have these large galleons at our disposal if we unhook from this playing it small and really begin to look at the eternal flow, like allowing ourselves to really channel what a grander, more expanded experience of life could be. Thank goodness we have the luxury now on the planet to access a broader experience. That's so beautiful. I'm seeing that there. Because we're grounding true abundance and this fortune, generosity, ending the burden, being able to discern wiser choices, make more forward-thinking, grounded, practical choices that aren't based in scarcity and lack. We're coming into more of the potentiality, the open potentiality. Harmonic oscillator, timing, rhythm, synchronization, and frequency. Yeah, so when we can be on the same page and really look at the energetic balance of things, we have this harmonic resonance that really does attract more like energy to it. What is the advice? Authority. Yeah, when we can wield this, we have the authority to really move and manifest in a new way. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. Exactly. In the name of eternal love, the counterparts are coming together to team up, to really be of more of an authority in the world, to make a difference, to show up. I just heard to cut the bureaucracy and to cut the chase and go for the things that would be potent and really make a difference. Just getting out there, get amongst it. Twins, couples, divine counterparts, movers and shakers, Jedis. Yeah. Godspeed. What a beautiful message. So we're starting to see that we can do a lot more in this life than we thought maybe at one point. Okay, many blessings everyone. Bye for now.